She drives all night and ends up at
Bates Motel.
the Bates Motel.
The Bates Motel.
And she's like, oh my God, that's the motel from Psycho. She says that.
Oh, she says that?
She had just read the book.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
The Bates Motel.
Yeah.
It's time to hack the movies. Today, we're talking about tapes.
Hi everyone, Tony from Hack the Movies here, and today I want to talk about the only thing I use to stream, and that is XSplit. I'm actually using it right now to record this video. I love XSplit, and specifically I love the XSplit VCam. You can do a lot of great things with it. For example, let me show you here. This background, I mean, I love my background, but say there's some craziness going on, you just blur that baby out. Look at that. One of the other things I really like, it has auto framing. Look at that. It auto framed. It's auto framing again. It's auto framing again. I can remove my background, but you know, I'm in a black void. No one wants to be in a scary black void. I'll go somewhere less scary, like the Bates Motel, perhaps. I'll check in and take a shower. And with the XSplit VCam, you can actually put a video as your background. Let's put me in an episode of Talking About Tapes. Oh my God, there I am. Hi, Tony. Say you don't want to be tied down to your desk or where your webcam is. You can use the free mobile app and stream right from your phone. Oh my God, look at that. I don't need that webcam anymore. I can just use my phone. Woo! So what are you waiting for? Go ahead and get yourself an XSplit account today and start streaming your heart out. I've been using XSplit for years and it only gets better and better, and I can't recommend it enough. Bye.
What are you doing?
Oh, don't mind me. I'm just throwing away all of my wrestling stuff.
Why? Like, did you see Royal Rumble last night?
Oh, was there a Royal Rumble last night? No, I happened to miss it. I just woke up this morning and just felt like throwing away all of my wrestling stuff.
That's such a shame. That is such a shame. It sounds like there's a little bit of jealousy happening right now.
What would I be jealous of? I didn't watch the Royal Rumble. Did something happen at the Royal Rumble, Crystal?
Just someone proposed to me. That's cool.
Oh, wow. So you got like a big shout out at like the
a huge sign right there in the front.
Yeah, at the main event.
Me, Crystal Quinn.
At the main event.
And it's also spelled correctly, like one N at the end of my name.
Yeah.
So I was like, wait, is this? So yeah, this giant event.
Yeah, you got a shout out at like the main event of one of the four biggest pay-per-views they do every year. That's cool.
It's not like you like wrestling anyway, so calm down.
Yeah, I don't like it anymore. It's for children, I think.
Gotcha.
I called the Blue Meanie. I said, you're never on the show again.
Gotcha.
And it's just, wrestling's like lame. I decided wrestling's lame.
Oh.
And I didn't even watch this Royal Rumble. It looked pretty bad, so.
What if someone had a Marry Me Tony from Hack the Movie sign? How would you feel about that?
I don't know.
Would you like wrestling again?
So Psycho. Let's talk about Psycho, and not because.
Who are you? Who said that? I want to know who you are. Like, who are you? I don't know.
Sad son of a bitch.
I didn't think
it
was real. Like, I'm getting like tweets. I was like, I don't think it has to be Photoshop. There's no way that's real. No one knows who I am. What?
Oh, like I said, I didn't watch. I don't like wrestling anymore.
Gotcha.
Psycho. Let's talk about Psycho.
Sure.
Do you like Psycho?
I love Psycho.
Psycho's pretty good.
I actually love Psycho.
Do you like my Norman Bates action figure from?
At that.
See, you could take the wig off. Boop. Anthony Perkins there. Yes, I really, really like Psycho. I've recently got this beautiful 4-movie Blu-ray set. Nice little slip cover there.
Oh shit.
So you get all 4 films, tons of special features. They redid the audio mix.
Have you actually seen 2, 3, and 4?
Yeah.
Curious about. Like, I have never seen them. I've never been interested in seeing
them.
Them.
2 is really good.
Really? Okay.
I mean, it's not going to compare to Psycho, but it's pretty clever on how they did it. And then 4 kind of ignores 2 and 3. And there's some interesting, it's mostly a lot of flashbacks to him and his mom, and she's
Oh.
played by Olivia Hussey in it.
Okay.
So you get to see their creepy relationship.
Oh.
I never ended up watching the show Bates Motel.
I didn't either. I heard it was really good.
I saw that it was taking place in the modern day, and I went, nope. But apparently it was fine. They do make it to the original at the end, apparently, and Rihanna is Marion, but she doesn't die. Spoiler, I think.
What?
That's what I heard. I didn't watch it myself. I could be wrong. But yeah, we're going to talk about Psycho, which I've
done this so many times. They've taken this story and they've...
To be fair, they waited till the end of the show to do that story, so
Yeah.
I'm sure other things happened leading up to that.
Sure.
But yeah, so when were you first introduced to Psycho?
It might have been in high school, maybe. I was really into, because I went to a performing arts high school and we watched a lot of black and white movies, some Orson Welles, Alfred Hitchcock. I'm pretty sure. And like I got really into it, and I'm sure it was during that time.
Yeah.
And I had a strong appreciation for it because I think Alfred Hitchcock is absolutely phenomenal and a fucking genius. I want to find someone where I can just sit there and have an Alfred Hitchcock just marathon.
Chicks love Alfred Hitchcock. Spoiler. Yeah, no, I like Hitchcock. I have a lot of I watched a lot of his stuff growing up. I was actually super into him. I was super into this movie. Ironically, I saw the remake first.
Ah.
And I think we're
No.
gonna do I think we might be doing a commentary track for the remake.
Ah. Yay, but
Well, it was like my mom told me about the original and how scary it was. They were remaking it in 1998. For whatever reason, we couldn't get the original. It wasn't on TV. I don't know if Blockbuster didn't have it, but the new one was out. And we had heard it's a shot-for-shot remake.
Mm-hmm.
So I watched it, and I was like, that was all right. And then I saw the original, and even though it's the same thing, like, there's just something about, there's something about the original.
The way it was shot.
And Gus Van Sant has even said, like, yeah, it was just an experiment. Like, could you recreate everything? Although he added stuff.
Yeah, he definitely added. The fact that it was in color also plays another thing to it. I mean, there's different reasons why it was originally in black and white, but you can't just do a shot-to-shot remake and try to keep that same magic you had.
Yeah.
And this definitely proves that.
Yeah. But I ended up really, really liking the movie. Universal Studios has a whole Alfred Hitchcock thing.
Yeah.
Really love that.
And they have the Bates, right? No, the house. They have the house, I think.
That might be the one in California.
That is the one in California.
Yeah, the one in Florida, they have like this special effects kind of show, or they used to. It's been so long since I've been there. And yeah, it's like how Alfred Hitchcock did all his effects, like the forced perspective and the matte shots and whatnot. And then I eventually even read the book.
Good for you.
Because it was a book first by Robert Bloch.
Tony likes to show off that he reads.
Unfortunately, this is not going to be a case of, in the book, because I didn't have time to reread it. I read it in like 6th grade. So
you read that in 6th grade?
Yeah, it's a pretty short book.
But for a 6th grader to read it?
Yeah, I did a book report on it.
It's okay for it. See, I've never read it. It's okay for a 6th grader?
Oh, I didn't care.
Oh.
I think I wouldn't know what Psycho was unless my mom told me about it and hyped it up.
Oh.
But I do remember some stuff from the book, and I will talk about it occasionally, but I don't have all the details fresh in my head.
All right.
But yeah, so Alfred Hitchcock, he apparently really, really liked the book, and he decided, I'm going to do this for Universal. It was kind of a joint production, Paramount, Universal, and his company.
Well, you know why, right? Aha. So I like dove deep into this, and I went down a rabbit hole once again. And
why did you go into a rabbit hole to research a movie?
Because it was fascinating.
Leave those rabbits alone.
I want to cuddle with the fucking rabbits. All right? They're fuzzy and make me happy.
Just picture you just digging into the ground and be like, did you know in Psycho? That wedge and the rabbit's like, ah! Anyway, continue.
That would happen.
Continue.
So Alfred Hitchcock was supposed to do another movie, something Judge, I forget the actual name of it, with Audrey Hepburn.
Okay.
And Audrey Hepburn got pregnant, and they had to actually scrap it, and they had to scrap another movie he was doing. So Paramount was like, what the fuck? Like, I don't want to give you money for 2 projects you just had to scrap. And Alfred Hitchcock was like, I want to do this movie. I really want to do this movie. I'm going to take, he took it from the people, his other show, his actual
Yeah,
crew.
yeah, that's what I have it there. He insisted on shooting it on black and white, under $1 million with his TV crew, and
Yep.
like they were like, "What the hell? You just did North by Northwest. We want like a big budget movie." And he's like, "Nah, not
No,
doing
because he couldn't get it.
Yeah.
He couldn't get the budget. That was the only way Paramount would say, "Hey, we will distribute this, but it has to be under $1 million and with your crew."
Yeah.
So that's how he got that. He also, which I found fascinating, he actually bought up all the books. So
Really?
no one would see the ending of the film.
Really?
No,
I don't
he
think
did
he
it-
bought up all the books.
He did as many as was available.
Okay.
All the books that were available. And I don't think there was much time when the book came out versus the making the movie.
Yeah, I'm not sure. When did hold on. I'll find out.
Because Ed Gein, because the book is based off of Ed Gein. Ed Gein's, I believe, Trials was in the 60s.
Huh. Robert Bloch
That book
also
would have
wrote
been in the 50s.
Robert Bloch wrote the Psycho 2 book and a book called Psycho House.
Oh, shit.
1959. So yeah, it was only like a year.
Literally like a couple of years
Yeah.
right before the trial. So yeah, so that book came out. So there, a year between grabbing all the available books, so the ending is not spoiled.
And when it came out, they had a thing where it was like absolutely no one will be admitted to the theater, and in the behind the scenes on the Blu-ray, like apparently like studios or critics or whatever were like having women pretending to be pregnant and being like, "Oh, I'm sorry, I'm just so late. Can you please let me in?" The people were like, "No,
No.
get out, you pregnant broad."
I love it. I love it. Do you know why? Actually, wow, I actually have a lot of info here.
Go ahead.
I don't want to I have to really reread my notes. I even forgot about all this. But you know why it was black and white?
He was afraid, according to the behind the scenes, someone said he was afraid to be too gory and he thought he could get away with a lot more in
Yes.
black and white. Yeah.
So at the location, so you don't really see blood in a lot of movies at this time. You
No.
see a lot of people being strangled.
Yeah.
A lot of girls. That's how like a lot of the deaths and horror type things. So in order to make something gory, he had to use chocolate syrup at that location.
They tested a bunch of different blood and that's what they landed on. Yeah.
Yep. So they had to use that because it looked the best, and it was better for when they're actually shooting. Because at that location, they thought we were going to get kicked out of this location if we use actual
Yeah.
blood. It'd be way too messy.
Actually, well, it was shot on a studio.
You said something about the location. Maybe the studio didn't want it to be that gory.
Maybe. Or maybe wherever they were testing, but I don't know. But what was I going to say? I lost. Oh, so apparently, according to the behind the scenes, so Alfred Hitchcock was talking about like some like schlocky horror films that were coming out at the time that were like cheaply produced but made a decent amount of money. And apparently, Alfred Hitchcock was like, well, what if someone good did that?
Yeah.
Like, I was like, well, you have all these fucking hack filmmakers just filming bullshit, and it's just like, well, I'm like, I like don't suck. Maybe I could do it for a low budget and make a huge profit, and people will be like, oh, well, it's a lot better than the other one.
Yeah.
It's
Well-
gonna make money anyway.
His shots are so precise, and there is a reason
Well, they
for
storyboard
everything.
a lot. Yeah.
They storyboard every little thing. I mean, the shower scene alone, there's so many facts on which we'll get into, but everything has a purpose.
Yeah.
And so many other films don't do that, especially nowadays. Everything is just action. Let's make people happy, throw things up.
Yeah, you
where
gotta have
there's
an
not a
action beat every
purpose.
10 minutes.
Sure, to keep our attention spans because we're freaking ADD.
You
like
gotta
crazy
film a
now.
ton of coverage so we can fix it in post. Don't even have the actors on set half the time. Just film it on a blue screen because their schedules suck.
Yep.
Because they're in 15 other movies this year. So they shoot everything on a blue screen and then they film like when we I saw afterwards when we did like Black Widow, that scene where Black Widow and her sister are just sitting at that rest stop talking.
Yeah.
That was all blue screened. Because it was just easier to film them and put them. I mean, it worked. We didn't
Sure,
notice. It worked.
But
And I understand this goes back to old Hollywood. You couldn't even sometimes you couldn't get two actors, so they would do shot, reverse shot. They'd be in different states.
sure.
But now it's just like, all right, well,
But there's a different type of quality
yeah.
with, at least, like I said, Orson Welles, Alfred Hitchcock. Like, there is such an amazing quality to that. And
Orson Welles, he made that movie Citizen Kane.
I saw it in
Shit.
your tweet.
What a terrible movie.
It's a fucking great fucking movie.
I thought when I got out of film school, I'd like stop hearing people like shit on that movie for no. I get it's annoying when people are like, it's the greatest film ever
it's
made.
not the greatest film ever.
Well,
I don't even
obviously,
know what the greatest.
Roadhouse, obviously. But still, people like they try to be like too contrarian. It's like, relax, it's a good movie. Like,
It's really
calm
fucking
down.
good.
Just like this movie's really good.
This movie's fantastic.
Anyway, continue.
They actually did their budget. So he actually did buy the novel too. He bought the novel for $9,500 in the episode.
Right. He was trying to get Paramount to do it, I think, and then he ended up
just doing it. And something I also found that was really interesting was Hitchcock kept putting the dummy of there was like different mom props and kept putting it in the one actress.
I heard about I heard they just kept like putting Mrs. Bates random places.
Yes, just kept putting her to freak everyone out. And just specifically her. And I was like, that's hilarious. They don't know if that was a sick joke or trying to like get her into character, but it's still funny.
I mean, we've done that in this office with
What? No fucking
different
way.
cutouts. We've put random cutouts places.
That you also put on like masks and put it in bathrooms.
Yeah. So, the writer, Stefano, was it Joe Stefano? Jim Stefano? He was reading the book and he was just like, I think, because Norman is kind of the main character in the book. Literally starts with him talking to his mother. But he was like, I think we need to like make the audience feel like Marion. She was Mary in the book. Marion is the lead of this film. So like kind of trick them. That way when she does die, it's like, oh shit, it's really about this guy. So I thought that was actually really clever because the movie does. And there's a lot of movies that do this where they like set up as one movie and then they switch. Yeah. Predator is one of them, From Dusk Till Dawn. And I'm sure there's regular movies, not action schlock, but I love those movies.
Oh, one of my favorite, it does that actually 3 times, is One Cut of the Dead.
Oh, right.
Fucking amazing.
That movie's great.
Holy shit.
Yeah, One Cut of the Dead. I had a lot of fun watching that.
Fucking times. Oh, so good.
So, so it's kind of, I could see how it could go wrong, but in this case, it really, really worked because you're ignoring the usual kind of like 3-act structure following this character. It just totally derails. It's like, nah, movie's about this guy. Sorry. The Friday the 13th remake tried to do that.
Oh.
Where like the first 20 minutes is about like this one girl and her friends.
I'm trying to remember.
And then they all die, and then the title sequence shows up 20 minutes into the film. You don't remember that?
I'm trying to remember. I think I blocked it out. Pretty sure.
I like the Friday the 13th remake, and the main character from that segment comes back at the end, but like you think it's gonna follow her the whole movie, and then it doesn't.
Oh, Scream 3 or Scream 4 also does that, where there's a couple of fake outs.
Nah, that's not the same thing.
It's not the same thing.
Because those are just like,
think it's fine.
there's a fake out, but like this, I'm talking about like actually following a character.
For 20 minutes is quite crazy. I'm sure other films have done it too. But
So he insisted it be told from Marion's point of view for most of it. And he changed Norman Bates a lot. Apparently, he didn't, the writer he wanted a more sympathetic Norman Bates, and he didn't really care about the character, and he didn't like really feel sympathetic for him. In the book, he's a middle-aged, like short, but he's George Costanza.
Really?
And after saying that, I really want a Psycho with Jason Alexander and Estelle Harris as the voice, like dressed up as his mom from Seinfeld.
I would love that.
But yeah, he's kind of like a pudgier, bald guy, I think, if I remember right, with like thick glasses and stuff. So the movie completely changed him.
I really want to read that book. I really want to know how that Norman Bates character is in that.
Yeah,
because
the book's also way more violent. And I'll get to the violence that was heavily toned down.
This film was already so risque. When it came out, people were freaking out. People were, what was it? I think Disney actually said, I think Walt Disney actually said it, that Alfred Hitchcock was never allowed to film in Disney because of his disgusting film that he did. People thought, because this was one of the first like mainstream slashers. In Europe, I believe they did Peeping Tom.
There's always earlier.
Little early. It wasn't much. I don't even think it was more than a year when that came out. But this was so big, and no one's seen this much nudity. Really, even though there was no nudity, it was skin, so much skin, and so much violence, and this scared the shit out of so many people.
Well, something happened right before this where they didn't have to like adhere to certain rules that they did before.
What happened?
I forget what it was. There was like something that like It's kind of like how the comics had the comics code and then that
Yeah.
went away. So film around this time, they had, I guess there were like a standard you had to follow, but that it had gone away.
Good.
So they could just do whatever, well, not whatever they want, but like they had a little bit more freedom in this time.
As they should.
Well, the 60s is like when, you know, you get like, whatchamacallit, Easy Rider and stuff, and film
Yeah.
starts to change. And
oh, one of the biggest
the
things.
big studio systems were going away at this point. But anyway.
Yeah. Another big thing, because the two are in bed, the very first shot,
Right.
they're in bed together. Clearly they're having sex or whatever, and they're unmarried.
Yeah.
That freaked so many fucking people
Me
out.
too. I'm
know.
disgusted by
I know
it.
you are. Were you okay when you saw that?
I wanted to turn it off, but I had to watch it for this. I had forgotten. It's been a while since I've seen this.
So this is actually based off of the killer Ed Gein. His mom actually died because there was a guy she knew murdering a puppy, straight out murdering a puppy. That didn't freak her out. A woman coming out of the house is what pissed her off because they were together, you know, doing adult things.
That's a chick
and
way
it
of
was
thinking.
out of unwed.
Yeah.
That she freaked because she was super, super, super religious. I'll go into like Ed Gein shit, that shit.
Same as
love it.
me.
Because they were unmarried, she went off. This fucking puppy's dead, was beaten to death. That doesn't freak her out. But the fucking unwed
Yeah.
freaks. She goes all across, like she goes and goes and goes
How-
about damnation. Literally, it gave her a stroke.
How else are they going to enter the kingdom in heaven if they're having, like, they shouldn't be having sex out of wedlock? Puppies go to hell. So that one's already screwed.
Puppies go to hell?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they go to hell.
Great, I get puppies in hell! Yes!
So yeah, you shouldn't have sex out of wedlock. I believe this. I'm a virgin still. Anyway, celibacy. I'm a celibate and I hate wrestling. You know,
I'm about to get married, so
I
it
feel like
doesn't
a lot of
matter for
virgins
me.
really like wrestling, but today I'm a virgin, celibate, born again.
gotcha.
I was forgiven.
So this film was actually.
This movie led me astray,
Oh, this guy.
and now that I'm reborn,
You good?
now that I'm reborn, I watch this movie and I'm like, disgusting. Don't like it. Anyway,
Because of unwed. But so many people freaked out about this movie, but it was actually nominated for 4 Academy Awards, including Best Supporting Actress for Janet Leigh and for Best Director.
Janet Leigh. What has she done?
Nothing. She's no one. She's a no one. She's just a no name.
Oh, she's that old lady from Halloween H2O
I knew you were going to say that. I knew you were going to fucking say that.
and other movies, I guess. So yeah, let's. You have any other behind the scenes before we get
I'm
into
sure
this?
there's a gazillion other ones.
Well, there's a lot of behind the scenes,
There's
but I
so
want to
much.
talk about them in relation to when the scenes show up.
Yeah.
But yeah,
and I
let's-
do want to talk about, we can get to it later, but I would love to talk about Ed Gein and why this was based off of Ed Gein.
We can
And
talk about Ed Gein.
Okay, well, I guess we should get into the movie since we haven't done this and we've been,
Yeah.
okay.
So the beginning, Bernard Herrmann's score is great. It's
Phenomenal.
It's super unsettling. It's just a little like ding, ding, ding.
All strings.
And then, yeah, all strings.
All
He wanted to
strings.
have like a because it's a black and white movie. He's like, this will have a black and white score, which doesn't make any sense. But he wanted to use all strings, and Sal Bass, he did the lines, the title sequence, which is like real disorienting. And so you got this aggressive music with this aggressive title. It's like, I don't feel good. Like it's
setting
like I
you
could
up.
see a bunch of people in the theater being like, that made me uncomfortable. I don't know if I like it really makes you uncomfortable.
It does. It really sets you up. It
Yeah.
sets the tone for the entire film, which is absolutely great. And if it wasn't for this score too, this movie wouldn't be as popular.
Oh yeah, no, they talk about that in the behind the scenes. What's his face? The writer like saw the rough cut and thought it was terrible. And then he
Yeah.
saw it like with
With the
music
music.
and stuff. He's like, okay, this works.
This is good. This is good.
So yeah, we see Marion
Well,
and
we see Phoenix, Arizona.
in Phoenix,
It's
Arizona.
Phoenix, Arizona.
Nice zoom in all the way into the hotel.
Yes, it says Friday, December 11th. Do you know why it says Friday, December 11th?
Why?
Because when they're trying to get the B-roll, they got way too many Christmas decorations, and that was their excuse of Christmas decorations.
They just
That was just
worked
it.
around it. Okay.
Yeah. They're like, okay, I guess we got to put that as Christmas.
Kind of like Halloween probably should have just taken place in California because of all the palm trees.
Yep.
Yes. So we see Marion and Marion Crane and Sam Loomis. Now let's talk about this right away.
Loomis.
I hate the theory that Sam Loomis in Halloween is this Sam Loomis.
No.
Yeah.
No.
There's a rumor. A theory that Sam Loomis was so horrified by Norman Bates that he decided to become a child psychiatrist to make sure no one ever does it again.
No.
But I'm
no.
like, I think James told me that, and I've seen it. It's like a thing. It's like, wait a minute. So in 3 years, because Michael Myers kills his sister in 1963. So in 3 years, Sam Loomis went from working at a hardware store to becoming a celebrated child psychiatrist and somehow became British or European. And totally, he
super attractive too.
You know, the death of Marion really hit him hard.
He shrunk.
Yeah. He loses a couple feet, doesn't he?
Holy fuck.
So it's the dumbest theory I've ever heard.
That's dumb. But I do love that Scream, though, actually does take Loomis from this.
Billy Loomis. Well,
yes,
Sam
Billy
Loomis in the movie was named after this.
Yes.
But it's not supposed to
like
be the same character. That's like thinking Harry Potter and Troll is the same Harry Potter from the Harry Potter movie. Like, no. No, they're different characters.
How would you even put that together?
That's like having the name Crystal Quinn and seeing a sign at the Royal Rumble and assuming it's about you. It could be about any other Crystal Quinn. So, you know, stupid theories.
I'm still gonna say it's me. Gonna say it's me.
Marion is upset that they are sinning because she wants to get married, but Sam has debts and alimony he has to pay to his ex-wife.
Yes.
All his money goes to his ex-wife.
Just don't get married. Just don't get married.
This is a family show, and I will not have you destroying our family values. Anyway, so yeah, he's like, look, I want to marry you, but I'm too poor. I suck. I'm sorry. And she's like, God damn it.
He has a great line that says, because they were saying, oh, we'll go back to our house and have dinner with us. You know, I'll invite you for dinner, but it has to be professional.
Oh, in front of the picture of my mother with my sister?
After dinner, send your sister to the movies and turn mama's picture to the wall. I was like, yeah, I just loved that.
That's
so
good.
much.
That's a pretty good line.
Which is so risky for that time, but it was so good.
So,
also, she's wearing a white bra on purpose.
Yes, and she wears a black one later.
Exactly.
They had to decide which bra, and they picked both.
Well, so she's more angelic and innocent in this scene.
I get, yeah.
That's the reason why they picked white.
That makes sense. And I believe it because angels are pure.
Yes. She's clearly not pure, though.
I don't know what you're talking about. So, Alfred Hitchcock appeared in all of his films, or most of them, as far as I can tell.
I think he did.
Apparently, it was getting harder and harder to put him in there without being distracting.
He's not Stanley.
Yeah. Yeah, so he told them, like, I'm going to have to be, like, really early in this movie. Because, like, once Marion does what she does and gets away, like, we got to focus on that. We can't have any distractions from that. So it's like, he's literally in, like, a cowboy hat outside of her office, just, like, looking the other way.
And he's such a distinct looking person, too. Yeah.
And it's, like, right before the story, like, kicks off, so it's not super distracting. Yeah, so she works at what's she work at? Like a realtor? Because the guy's buying a property from them, right?
I wasn't sure if it's like a law play or I wasn't sure what it actually was.
I think they were realtors.
He was buying something. Yeah, that would make sense.
Yeah, because they say he's there to buy a property. So
yeah, for his daughter.
Yes, this drunk cowboy comes in. He's like, I'm buying a thing for my daughter, and she's awesome.
And she's there. And he's flirting with her. And
he's flirting hard with Marion. He's waving money around, kind of like I did in that Thing episode we did with you and Joe.
Yes.
I never ended up putting that money in the bank. I really got to put it in the bank. So he's waving around. He's like, no. He's like, I can never hold more than I can afford to lose. Ha ha ha. Here's 40,000 in cash.
40,000.
Yeah, and even the boss is like, cash? What are you doing? Like, no, write us a check, you asshole.
So $40,000 today would be, it wasn't as insane as I thought it would be. It was $380,000. So that's as if we are carrying around $380,000 with us.
Yeah.
I mean, you do it all the time because you're so famous, Tony.
That was one time. I'm not rich and famous yet.
You're not famous?
I am famous
Okay.
and important, but I'm not rich and famous and important.
Yo, I hope that guy holding that sign at Royal Rumble, I can't talk, is like super wealthy. So that way now I can be rich and famous.
We did have seats pretty close to the ring. So he can.
Yo, you got money, hit me up. I'll marry you.
So yes, I'm not
I'm poor.
I'm not rich and famous yet. Patreon.com/hackthemovies. All our commentary tracks from 2020 are available on Bandcamp. If you don't want to be a patron, but you should be a patron, you can buy shirts like this on the merch store. Isn't that crazy?
I want a shirt. I want my own Crystal Quinn shirt.
No.
Can I get a Will You Marry Me Crystal Quinn shirt? Please.
It's actually a good idea. Make it look exactly like that guy's sign. God damn it. No. Anyway. So yes, she sees the $40,000 and he like puts this idea in her head. He's like, I can buy happiness or whatever.
Oh, what I wrote down. You know what I do with unhappiness? I buy it off.
Yes.
And I'm just like,
and she's sitting there like, I'm unhappy. Here's $40,000. And I like her boss is like, I don't even want the cash here. Put it in a bank right away.
Yeah.
Make sure he gets us a check. He might change his mind just because he's clearly drunk. He's drunk off his ass.
oh my God.
So yeah.
Oh, do you know the other girl, the other coworker in there is Alfred Hitchcock's daughter?
Yes. Yes,
I thought that was very
she is
interesting.
featured heavily in the behind the scenes. She had
Really?
Because at first I was like, wow, this girl has a lot of things to say. And I'm like, oh, she was his daughter.
His granddaughter, I think, still talks a lot about him and does documentaries.
Oh, that's
and does a
cool.
lot about him. Yeah. So I'm glad it's still going in the family, at least remembering him.
Yeah.
And she says, because the coworker says, do you want these pills? Try to make her happy.
Oh, yes.
And she goes, can't fight unhappiness with pills. And I'm like saying in my head, I was like, you're a goddamn liar. Antidepressants are phenomenal. Like, you're a liar.
Let's not talk about meds. So the she tells her boss, like, hey, I'm not feeling well. I'm gonna go home after I cash the check. Or I deposit the money.
Yeah.
So she's a liar. But I like that as she's like, stealing the money, getting ready to skip town to drive to where Sam lives.
And that's where she's wearing the black bra.
Yes.
So that's where it's more of like she turned from innocent to like mischievous and devilish.
It's all the same day. I don't know if she needed to change her bra in the middle of the day, but
sometimes you gotta change. You gotta feel good about yourself,
She did have sex earlier that day. She's probably sweaty. Anyway.
Oh yeah, you gotta change that up.
Yeah.
Ugh.
I wouldn't know.
You wouldn't.
I like that she sees her boss and they make eye contact. He's like, did I just see her? And she's like, oh no, he caught me in my lie.
Dude, she's freaking the fuck out. Holy shit, she's freaking out.
So,
she pulls over.
Yeah. She pulls over when she has a panic attack at night. And the next day a cop starts questioning her. And I have it here. This is the only white woman who didn't know how to keep her cool around a cop pulling her over.
Obviously.
Let's talk about privilege, guys. Go to every white woman you know and ask them if they ever got out of a speeding ticket. Have you ever gotten out of a speeding ticket?
There was one time I couldn't do it. One time. Very upset at that. I didn't cry hard enough. Did not cry hard enough.
I lost my license for 15 days once.
For speeding?
Yeah.
How do you lose your license for 15 days for speeding? How fast were you going?
I was going pretty fast.
Probably deserved it. I've never gone that fast where I would lose my fucking license.
I was going pretty fast. Yeah. It sucked.
Well, you're an idiot.
Yeah.
Good job. Good job.
And I had to go to Atlantic City, so I had to get like a state ID so I could drink. because they took my license.
That sucks.
Oh, it sucks.
But you couldn't cry and get your way out of it?
I can't cry if my life depended on it.
I was actually told a story by someone, and what their cousin did to get out of a speeding ticket was said that their breast implant popped and they were rushing to the hospital. And I was like, that is the best fucking excuse I've ever heard. So if you ever need an excuse,
I could probably get out of a ticket now.
What would you say? What would you do?
Everything I'm thinking of can be clipped and used against me, so we're just gonna move on.
Oh, goddamn.
Tony said this. Is he a whatever supporter? I'm like, God damn it. All right, anyway.
Oh, God.
So
Wait, isn't your dad a fucking cop?
that doesn't work as well as you think it would.
Don't you have the like the gold card and shit?
The
Did
card, I got the license plate tag, but it doesn't work as that depends where you are. Like if you're in the district, maybe a cop will be nice to you, but if you're somewhere else, then
See, that's the thing is I always had BBA cards with me too.
Yeah.
I've always used my
cops
PBR.
have cliques amongst themselves. I don't know if you know that they're not all one big team. So
I know if you're in a different state, they don't care. But
different
usually,
county, they'll get pissed. Yeah.
I've had a friend who was able to get out a speeding ticket. Like she was on her phone speeding, and she was like, "My husband's a cop," and she was also pregnant, and they would not give a pregnant cop's wife a ticket.
I would.
You would?
Oh yeah.
Glad you're not a cop.
Equality.
Ah.
They're about equality.
Okay.
Anyway, Marion is like, and even Janet Leigh said like Marion's like the worst thief. Like she's not keeping her cool. The cop is following her and she's like, I'm gonna buy a new car. It's like, all right, lady, relax a little bit.
And the way she hides the money is disgusting. I'm like,
Yeah.
God, if you had that much money, don't you think you would actually put it in the bottom of your purse? It's just flopping around in her purse.
I know. Yeah, she like can't avoid suspicion at all. Like the cop follows her
Everywhere. Yeah,
to the
almost
place.
everywhere. Yeah.
and she's like, I'm buying this car for, here you go, $7,000.
No
Give me the car.
question,
I need to go. And the guy's like, what? That's not, what the fuck is wrong with you?
Yep.
She's so shady. But like she doesn't have to be. She's drawing more attention to herself.
Yep.
It's
She's
real
just
easy to get out of.
She's freaked out in her, and I can actually see that being a little bit more realistic.
I do
because
like
you're
that.
psyching yourself out.
I do like that she's playing conversations in her head of things that people are probably going to say. Like that's pretty funny.
That was really cool.
Like,
I
can't
loved
believe
when she was
stole from me.
driving.
Yeah.
Yep.
I can't believe she stole from me. I think you know someone.
That was great. I liked that. I wasn't sure if that was actually happening or if that was in her head, but I like that being in her head a lot.
It's probably stuff they did say, but no, it's definitely her like trying to
Thinking
think like,
about
what are they
it,
going to
yeah.
say about me? Oh my God. Oh my God. Yeah. So she's the worst. Just the worst thief. Just the worst. What was
She's a
her?
horrible
By
thief.
the way, what's her long-term plan? Like she's going to go live with Sam and pay off all his debts and then marry him. It's like, yeah, people are going to, she didn't think this through.
She did. Well, I mean,
'Cause-
obviously she didn't think this through. She was like, $40,000. Let me grab this and run. Because he was like, the one guy with the cowboy hat was like, yeah, you deserve a good weekend in Las Vegas. And I was like actually expecting her to grab Sam and go to Las Vegas.
That would be a poor thing to do. It's like, we have a little bit of money. Let's go gamble. It's like, no, you assholes.
Or start a new life in Vegas or something.
No, but that's the thing. So so her plan is I'm going to steal the money.
Uh-huh.
Everyone knows I stole it.
Yeah.
I'm going to go to my boyfriend, who's not a secret, really. The
No.
sister knows who he is. And then people are going to be like, oh, your boyfriend's debts were all suddenly paid off? And
Yeah.
you're living with him? And also
She's
you're still
clearly not that
wanted?
bright.
No, she was always
At
going to
all.
get caught. I don't know what her long-term plan was.
She has cash though too. It's-
She didn't think it through. Anyway, she drives all night and ends up at
Bates Motel.
the Bates Motel.
The Bates Motel.
And she's like, oh my God, that's the motel from Psycho. She says that.
Oh, she says that?
She had just read the book. She's
Oh,
like,
gotcha,
"That's
okay.
The Bates Motel.
Yeah. I wonder if Norman Bates is here.
Oh my God, that's the killer, Norman Bates. Spoiler. Yeah, so she pulls up to the hotel. I think we see Mother in the window, right?
I think so. I know
Mother
you
is
hear
walking
her.
around. Spoiler, it's not Mother if you saw me play with the action figure earlier.
Wait, that's not Mother?
No.
Oh.
Spoiler, Mother's dead.
Oh, what?
I actually, in the book, it's actually pretty funny because, you know, you don't see it, but like
Oh, you can get away with
it
so much in the
opens up
book.
with Norman having a conversation with his mother. So you think, oh, the mother's alive.
So the book was able to do this so much easier. than
Yes, the movie had to really think
There was
how to
so
dance around
many
it.
things in here that they had to figure out so precisely, and they had to reshoot so many things. We'll get to that.
Also, when they built like the set and the house and everything,
Yeah.
They didn't factor in the full moon. So apparently, like a lot of these shots, like crewmen with like big poles and like black fabric had to keep like moving around to try to block the moon.
That's actually really cool.
Because it's supposed to be a dark, stormy, rainy night. You can't have the moon out. It should be behind clouds and shit.
That's brilliant.
Yeah.
That's brilliant. Most films now actually don't give a fuck.
Well, now they could just be like, boop.
What was it? Fucking, what was the movie that we watched where it was a full moon every day? A fucking,
What was it? What movie did we watch where it was a full moon?
yeah,
every
and
day?
everyone else is like screaming at us right now saying, what
It's
was it?
this one.
Was it, or was it
Van Helsing.
right? It was Van Helsing.
Van Helsing. Yeah,
Van
it was like
Helsing.
there was a
That
full
didn't give
moon
a
like
fuck.
every
It
other
was a
night.
full moon. Somehow the werewolves are still out. I know everyone's very angry that we didn't like that movie.
I thought it was okay.
I got angry, and I watched it when I didn't want to watch it because I was tired, and I was like, "This is so stupid! I hate everything."
Oh, it's definitely stupid.
It's stupid.
just-
I was watching it. I wasn't watching to enjoy it.
there are worse movies to get angry at.
I think I can watch it and enjoy it now
Yeah.
that I like criticized it. It's
Anyway.
just fun,
Norman
yeah.
finally shows up.
and he looks so nice.
Yes, his first line is super 80 yard.
Gee, I'm sorry I didn't hear you in all this rain. Go ahead in, please.
So much of this is ADR.
It is, which actually, getting back to the car scene, the car dealership, like Hitchcock, like hated filming on location because you have to ADR everything. You're at the mercy of like the sun and stuff. But no, like I say it because of this, because I watched it on Blu-ray on my big screen, but I can clearly
fancy.
tell it's like not him talking. I'm like, oh, that one's a little rough. Why fancy? I sent you the Blu-ray rip of this.
Oh, those the Blu-ray rip.
Yeah.
Sweet, I got that forever now.
With the 5.1 audio mix, even though I don't have surround sound, but
I don't know. I just played it on my computer. I don't know how to play fucking files you send me through an email on my TV because I don't
have like a Chromecast.
Do I have a Chromecast? I don't know what I have. Listen, I'm going through like a divorce right now, so I don't know what I.
Well, good thing that guy is trying to marry
Yeah.
someone with an
I'm
name
ending a
Crystal.
9-year, like literally ending a 9-year
Do you
relationship.
want that in the episode?
I don't care at this point. So hey, listen, the guy is rich. He can help me out. Help me buy a Chromecast so I can watch the film on a TV. I actually need a TV too. I don't know what's happening. I don't know when I'm getting this divorce.
Jessica, when you're editing this and you get to this part, come into my office and say, Tony, should we leave that in? And I will text Crystal and I will say, are you sure you want me to leave this in? Let me know.
I just said it on Kieran's stream.
All right, Jessica, save this conversation.
If it makes sense.
So when Crystal yells at me, I could just
I'm
send
going to
this
yell at you
clip.
no matter what.
Wow, that was a good conversation about Chromecast. Marion gets informed that she's on the long list of bad decisions Marion has made.
Oh, there's so
she
many
gets
bad
informed that
decisions.
she's only 15 miles away from where Sam lives. So in reality, she could have just kept driving a little while longer. I know it's
Just
scary with the rain.
A little bit longer.
Did she make a wrong turn or did she turn on that road on purpose?
I think she turned on that road on purpose.
Hmm.
She saw a hotel. I know she turned off, but
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
not
That's
like you couldn't also just wait for a little bit.
no.
It would be a totally different movie if she just waited for the rain to stop. Or if
Well,
it wasn't,
remember they don't have their Google Maps and stuff. She probably didn't see a sign anywhere, so
no, she didn't. Why didn't she have Google Maps up?
I don't know. So yeah, he's like, yeah, it's only 15 miles, and you could see her be like, shit. Like,
At that
I guess
point,
I
just
could-
be like, never mind, I'm out. She would still be alive today.
So yeah, we hear we get like this. There's this whole like little world building where we find out that the motel used to be along the main highway, but then they built the new highway, and now the hotel doesn't really get a lot of attention. But yeah, Norman's just like, yeah, a lot of people come here on accident. Do you want to have dinner with me?
Yeah, that was weird.
Yeah.
Little weird.
And she
Yeah,
was-
the fact that there's no one else in this motel.
Yeah. He insists, like, hey, I'll make you a sandwich and stuff and just have
she was
dinner with me.
hungry. I mean,
She was hungry.
would you accept the sandwich from a stranger?
Like, I have to eat it with them?
I know, what if this was a really good sandwich?
I might say yes, but there's a point where I would change my mind. We'll get to that. Yeah, so she goes to her room and she's hiding the newspaper in the oh no, she's hiding the money in the newspaper.
Yep.
And she hears Norman getting yelled at by his mother. So either the mother is very, very loud or Marion has amazing hearing.
I think it's both.
How did she hear that? Because like
No fucking idea.
You
There
see-
was so much.
you see it, like house is here,
Yeah.
and then
Hotel is like,
hotel is like down here,
yeah.
and she's facing that like
I can yell right here.
maybe
No one else on the like outside can hear me.
maybe she does have really good hearing, and all that inner monologue was actually her just hearing the people. Maybe she's like
That would make more sense now.
that's her only superpower. She can just hear
She
what
has
people.
superpowers now?
I guess.
Psycho, the American hero.
Yeah. So she hears him getting grilled by his mom. So yeah, again, poor decisions. Ladies, if a guy says he wants to have dinner with you and he brings you into his murder room, you know, maybe his
You know how excited I would get?
his room of death, maybe
Hey, maybe some people are into that.
turn around.
Maybe a little kinky, okay?
Okay, it's fine to have a room of death. It's totally fine.
So I never remember
In
that.
someone's house, sure. A taxidermy office, sure. A museum, sure. But like the motel on the side of the road that just happens to have a taxidermy room, I'm like, nah.
It's just
I'm
for
out.
birds because they're innocent and fragile and, you know,
They're probably easy to stuff, birds.
probably.
Does he hunt them or does he just find them?
That's what I'm curious about.
Yeah.
He doesn't look like a hunter.
Yeah, don't go into people's rooms of death.
Go into the room.
Unless they mention like, hey, I'm a hunter, I do some taxidermy. They're like,
Or like,
and also,
hey, I
guys,
murder people.
if you're a hunter and you've done taxidermy, give chicks a heads up before you bring them into your room of death. I'm just saying, just give them a heads up.
So the
That's all.
killer Ed Gein that this is based off of, I'm gonna
Yes.
keep saying that, actually had heads of people all in his. Oh, we'll go into that. But yeah,
Let's keep in mind, Ed Gein
there's so
didn't
many.
kill many people, but
He might have also killed 3.
yeah, but he did dig up a lot of graves and
That's
fuck
the-
around with them,
Yo.
which we talked about in the Texas Chainsaw episode. We didn't go into super detail, so feel free to talk more about it.
I love serial. Well, he also isn't technically a serial killer. There's actually a definition of serial killer, and I believe it is killing at least 3 people in a month and cooling periods. There's a cooling period.
Yeah, what
within that.
would he be? Like a multiple murderer?
Deuce murder.
Let us know. Let us know what Ed Gein was besides a weirdo.
Understatement.
Yeah, so he talks about how the stuffing birds is like his coping mechanism.
Yeah.
This
I mean,
is-
that's who's coping. That's everyone's coping mechanism.
This is
mechanism.
this is foreshadowing.
Do you go out with friends?
Well, a boy's best friend is his mother.
No,
I mean, I love my mom, but
that's not your best friend.
no.
I think a girl can tell a lot about a guy based off their relationship with the mother.
The opposite rings true too. Yeah. Yeah. Norman should forgive his mother. Apparently, Norman's mother married some guy, and he convinced her to build the hotel, but then he died horribly, and the mother went a little crazy. And now he's afraid to leave her. And then I think, yeah, she's like, why don't you put her in like a somewhere?
Like a home.
Yeah, and he's like,
He freaks out on that. Like, why would you want all those eyes staring at
it
you?
almost sounds as if he's been there. Yeah, he gets real
He
defensive
freaks out
about
with
that. And to his credit, like the the federal mental health facilities at
Oh,
that
they're
time were
horrible.
awful.
They still
'Cause we-
kind of are.
Because we live near Pennhurst, but they used to be worse. We live near Pennhurst, and there's documentaries on how awful Pennhurst was.
I love reading about this. As sad as it is, there were so many mental institutions that they couldn't keep afloat, and they would just let them out. And that's why so many of the homeless at that time were XX mental patients. It's insane and so fucking sad.
Yeah.
And I feel like we're better now, but we're really not that much better.
Now people don't even get to go to facilities. They're
Well,
just
it's
crazy
so-
out in the world.
Yeah. And it's also really hard when you do want help and stuff. It's actually really hard to get into one.
Yeah.
Especially right now because of COVID, because so many people are having so many mental issues.
Yeah.
It's really, really hard to even get in them, to get good help. It's sad.
My mom went to the ER and she was there for 8 hours just waiting.
Well, that's a normal ER. It also depends on what.
But it was
ER.
because of all the COVID stuff. It wasn't that busy and stuff.
Oh,
But because of
really?
COVID issues, she was there forever. So,
Oh, our medical system's so great.
I agree. We all go a little mad sometimes.
Best line.
That's a line that
Best
was
line.
used in Scream. They have that awkward dinner where at any point she should have just been like, you know what?
I'm out.
I'm going to bed.
But you see her getting awkward and nervous. She should have.
And the way it's filmed with the dead birds in the background, it's this is uncomfortable.
It's very uncomfortable.
It's not pleasing like this video store. It's very uncomfortable, although we do have stuffed birds up there.
And it's the fork. And Power Girl. And other random stuff.
I don't even know if you can see it on the wide shot. I guess you can. Anyway.
It's very ADD.
So
overwhelming.
Marion goes to shower. And Norman's got a peephole.
So what's interesting is this painting that he moves. Everything has a significance, like a significant meaning.
Mm-hmm.
This painting, it's about two guys that have been staring at this one girl, and I think they were doing a peep kind of thing.
Okay.
And that's the picture, the artwork that he moved.
Did you see the video of Alfred Hitchcock walking around the set to hype up the movie?
I saw videos of him in the shower, that bathroom.
Yeah, he did this
But I
little
didn't.
promotional thing where he's walking around the set.
This picture has great significance because, let's go along to cabin number 1.
Made sure to point at the peephole.
I didn't
thing.
know that.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
So Norman's just watching Marion change. This movie, instead of Psycho, it should be called Pervert.
Yeah, I can go with that. That's petrifying. Do you know, modern day, you go into hotels, especially a lot of females, when we go into hotels, Airbnbs, we're petrified of cameras.
Yeah.
Petrified. You know how many people have hidden cameras in dressing rooms, women's dressing rooms, women's bathrooms? At least this is one guy in his eye,
And a peephole,
like
yeah.
a peephole. I'm not saying that's good, but I think it's worse now. Petrifying.
You just leave a little camera and see it later.
No, please, no.
This movie is famous for a lot of firsts. Do you know which first is in this scene? Marion is doing the math on all the money she spent, and she wants to get rid of the evidence.
It's the first time a toilet is flushed in American film.
Yes, and the writer was like, every time I see movies, there's never any toilets in the bathroom. It's do people not use
This is
toilets?
the first time, and they actually made that a significant scene, so that way they had to keep it in the
Yeah.
toilet flushing.
What would be the end of the world of seeing an empty toilet?
It's just, I guess, taboo at the time.
But
It's the flushing of a toilet.
people see toilets being flushed every day.
I guess just because it's disgusting.
But it wasn't a used
yeah.
toilet. It was just paper.
If only those people knew what kind of films are out now.
Yeah, Jesus Christ.
You're like, what?
So yes, that was the first toilet being flushed. And if I was in that theater, I would have been like, disgusting.
out.
I would have walked out.
Unmarried people having
I would have
sex.
been like,
Where are the virgins?
I would have been like, where does Alfred Hitchcock live? I need to murder him.
Because of a toilet
This is
flushing.
disgusting. And then I leave. And
How
then
dare
afterwards,
ya.
someone's just like, man, imagine if we saw the rest of the movie.
Yeah. Yeah.
Anyway,
All right.
the shower scene. Yes.
Holy
That shower
shit.
scene, the scene that scared the shit out of everyone. My grandmother told me stories about how she was afraid to take a shower after seeing the movie.
So many people were scared.
Janet Leigh said the same thing, even
Yep.
though she acted in it when she saw it. She was like, oh, God. I was scared to take a shower after a
Really?
while. Yeah. Yeah. Because it was scary.
So that's why you don't shower?
No, I shower, you bitch. Anyway, because you're very vulnerable. I like that.
You have this point of view shot, and she's staring up at the shower head, and that is putting the audience into that vulnerability with her.
Yes.
And I feel like that alone is so powerful.
Yes.
The fact, you being naked in a shower, that already you're in a vulnerable state, but now you're bringing the audience into that. It was so cool.
You know how they covered her up, right? They had that moleskin bandages.
That's what they
They had to
used?
like
I didn't know
cleverly
that.
cut up and put all this moleskin on her.
That's actually kind of cool.
She said at one point it was like starting to peel because they say in the behind the scenes there's a lot of misconceptions about this scene. People say Saul Bass directed it. He did not.
Yeah.
They also said like, oh, Alfred, he made the water cold on purpose.
I heard that too, and that's not true.
No. It's just, she
Janet
says,
legit
Janet
says that's
Lee's
not
like,
true.
if anything, it was too warm that my moleskin started peeling, and she was like, there were people on the rafters. She's like, I think more than needed to be there, and they were just waiting for things to slip off.
Yeah.
And she's like, oh, whatever, I don't care. Let's just get it done with.
I didn't think Janet Leigh and I had so much in common because that was the first time I ever met you.
Yes.
Was we were filming a shower scene,
Yes.
and I had Band-Aids on my nipples, and water and Band-Aids just weren't working. And I was like, fuck it.
I remember sitting there watching it, and I just remember being like, so when's the cute girl coming to the set?
That was later. She showed up. She showed up later, okay? It was the gorilla, okay?
Yes. Anyway, actually, good thing you mentioned that. So I like that this scene is a woman naked in the shower, but it's not exploitive, right?
It's not at all.
Exploitative. Because it's meant
not
to show like,
sexualized,
hey,
it's
you are
not.
vulnerable. You are naked. You're in the shower. You have no defenses, really.
Yep.
So it adds like a layer of like fear to it, and a very realistic fear. Like, oh God, if I'm in
Very
the shower,
much so.
what am I gonna grab? Like, the shampoo bottle's not that heavy. But I've seen a lot of schlocky stuff of lesser filmmakers that just want to throw chicks in the shower to have boobs and whatnot.
I like shower scenes. I like being in shower scenes. It's fun. Sometimes you just want to have fun and be covered in blood and be naked in showers.
Not me. I'm more like Alfred Hitchcock.
Clearly, you've made fucking magic and art. Okay. I have fun with the stuff that I've filmed in.
Look. I co-wrote Gorilla. I did not write that scene.
Maybe I wrote it, okay?
I also wouldn't have given you a machine gun because that defeats the purpose.
That's the point.
That defeats the
point.
purpose. That is scary. Anyway.
I'm sorry. You see me naked, but then I also turn around with the machine gun. I don't know what's scarier, me naked or the machine gun. I think you should be running.
Should Janet Leigh have had a machine gun?
Yes, she should have had a fucking, you know what? That would have turned into the best fucking movie if she just turned around with the machine gun right there. Movie over. Like, great. I would have loved that. Just out of nowhere. She just pulls it out.
So yes, I filmed a shower scene. It was not as good as Alfred Hitchcock's.
See, you're not Alfred Hitchcock.
I'm not.
You're not.
I'm
You also-
not.
there's
I blame the actress. It could have been a lot better.
Clearly, yeah.
I'm like, ugh. No one's ever gonna make a sign for this chick at the Royal Rumble.
Nope.
I'm not mad though. I didn't even watch the Royal Rumble anyway.
You're not mad at all.
So yes,
So
you never actually see her get stabbed.
Well, wait. We have to talk about how many fucking shots there were for
Yes.
this.
Yes.
We have to talk about that first.
And also, Anthony Perkins is not in the scene.
He's not. It's a stunt.
Yeah, it's either a stunt. Some days it was stunt double or body double, but yes.
It was a body double. It was actually, I believe, a female that actually.
I think sometimes it was like a stand-in and stuff. So he wasn't even there when they shot.
No, because he was actually on Broadway.
Yes.
He was on
Well,
Broadway.
they shot the most important scene of the movie. He's
While
not
he was
even
on
there.
Broadway. He's not there. Do you know how they were able to make that shadow so shadowy?
Actually, no. I think I missed that in the behind the scenes. How do they do it?
Blacked out the face with makeup.
Oh.
Unfortunate blackface, but not like that kind of blackface.
There's a difference.
Yes.
There's a difference.
So their whole thing is they didn't. You
Yeah.
do see her leave too, or whoever the Norman Bates character, whatever,
Yeah.
ends up leaving. It's so quick, but they still need to make it in the clothing,
Mhm.
and you need to see like, okay, you don't know who this is just yet.
Yeah.
They still need to make it mysterious.
Yeah. They also
Very interesting.
they had to test out like the shower curtains to see like how much, because they needed to find like how much you could see someone's in there to make sure you can't see how
Yeah.
naked they were. They did have a new double for a couple shots.
Okay.
For
Yeah.
Janet Leigh, they cut out a shot where it was like an overhead one. You see like her butt, and then they made them trim that out.
There was another shot where she's laying on the ground dead,
Mm-hmm.
and they actually had to trim it out. It was actually in the film, and I believe Alfred Hitchcock's wife is the one that noticed it.
I forget.
She-
It was definitely a woman. They played it for everyone to make sure there was no nudity. Like everyone went that. But
'cause
yeah, they caught her
had to keep-
breathing.
They caught her breathing.
Yeah.
So they actually cut that because they couldn't reshoot it.
Because they said she was an editor and she like old school editing.
I think
with,
it was
like, the crank
the
and
white,
everything. Yeah.
So they actually had to cut it.
Yeah.
And that's why there's such a strange cut. But I actually do like the cut because it shows back to the shower head. It actually works great.
Yeah. And they were gonna give her contacts
Oh, I didn't
to
know
keep her eye open,
Hmm.
but contacts sucked back then, and it would take like weeks to adjust. So they're like, you're just gonna have to keep your eye open.
that. And what is insane is she said that was such a tough scene to
Mm-hmm.
do because the water just kept getting into her eyes.
Yeah.
Like she just couldn't help but blink, or even in the shower itself. So much water was in her eyes, and it
Mm-hmm.
was really hard for her. They filmed this over a week, 7 days to film this.
Yes.
It was
Ours was shot in an afternoon.
in like 15 minutes. Crystal, get naked in the shower, hold a machine gun. All right, ready.
That's not how you make a movie.
No?
I've learned a lot since then, apparently. Apparently, you're supposed to like spend multiple days at one set, depending on
What? I
Yeah,
had
depending
no
on the show,
idea.
depending on what kind of scene it is.
I had no idea how films were made. Also, I know a lot of people think I'm here just because I'm eye candy. Thanks for telling me that.
Who? What?
Apparently, there's comments. There's like, why is she doing Hack the Movie? She's just eye candy. She knows nothing about film.
I'm stuck on the eye candy. What?
Yeah, it's a little weird. I know.
Yeah,
I was a little
I'm-
off on that.
I'm
Yeah, I
confused.
know. I question more the eye candy than knowing nothing about film.
Mint salad, I could see. But
Woo woo! Yo, mint is like But my point is, I know how films are made because I've
Yeah.
worked on film sets. My entire life is production.
yeah, I learned
So-
filming Mummy
You
Cop.
film, yeah.
I learned filming
you learned
Mummy
that
Cop.
way. I filmed on actual sets in production. Okay.
I learned like it was like, hey, you know what? It's really hard to shoot a season's worth of content in 2 weeks. I probably should have spaced it out a little bit
Yeah.
more.
Think.
Oh, hey, we're gonna do the epic shootout during the day, and then you're gonna have a whole conversation with the other character at night in the dark basement. And Tony, you're gonna be wearing that latex mask all day long. And they had to like poke straws into because the first season the mask didn't break in yet,
Ooh.
so it was like super tight. Now you can take it on. If anything, it's falling apart. I gotta like, if I ever bring Mummy Cop back, it's got to be a new mask. But yeah, so
Did they
like,
bring it back?
if probably not.
I've never seen it, so I really don't care.
So yeah, wow. So during the first season, I would just keep it on all day. I was
Ew,
just
that probably smelled so bad.
It didn't smell too bad, but it felt terrible because my hair was long at that point and it was sweaty. But yeah, my producer Kate had to put like a straw in like a big jug of water and just shove it through the mask.
Yup.
And, I'm like,
I have done so much prosthetic and
Yeah.
makeup.
and then the other producer
Yep.
Sandra, we were filming at her parents. They have like a big pool, and she had to like, because like I was pretty much blind in the mask, so she had to like hold my. There was like footage of her just like holding my hand as the mummy, and I'm like, oh god, I don't want to fall in the water.
That's funny. Yo, it's so hard to fucking act in that shit and just like
It is.
It's really because you're too busy thinking and you're breathing. You're trying to breathe correctly, or see correctly. It's not fun.
The good thing with Mummy Cop is the mouth didn't move, so
Oh, lucky you.
I could just say whatever and just add it in.
And the one time I had a whole bunch of prosthetics on my face, my mouth, we had to black out a whole bunch of stuff in my mouth because the prosthetics didn't like fit. Joe Lascola actually did. He did a phenomenal job.
Oh,
but
yeah.
It just wouldn't fit my face right because it's supposed to be formed like to fit.
Joe does great work.
He does great. I'll go with that.
Give it
I
up
love
for
his
Joe.
work.
Give it up for Joe. Anyway.
But yeah, it's not easy to do that kind of shit.
No.
Or even, but yeah, I forget where I was going with this. That's a total thing. But yeah, to film I guess I can go off of, to form 40 seconds.
It was film 40 seconds.
Filmed 40 seconds?
You said form 40 seconds.
Words. This is when words just stopped working.
Keep going.
Energy. 40 seconds of film was made over 7. I don't know if the sentence is making sense, but you guys get it.
So the whole scene ended up being 40 seconds
long.
and it took over a week to
Holy
film.
shit.
That was so easy to say.
I don't understand why that was so
Oh my God.
hard.
But it's
It
crazy.
was 78 shots and it took 52 cuts.
Yeah.
And back then it's physical cuts.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Oh God, in college they made us use that. I don't know why it was so outdated, but yeah.
Oh wow.
It's crazy to think 48 minutes into a film your main character's dead. So I can see how that was a shock to people back then.
Yep.
And there's some like dark comedic irony to it.
So the stabbing in here though is so interesting that they had to use
melons for the sound
melons.
effect. Yes.
But they actually had to test out 24 different types of melons.
Yes.
Before they found it, and they actually found it on a casaba, or I don't know what kind of melon it is. Okay, I've never heard it, I've never ate it, but apparently it's a very dense melon. A lot of melons felt very hollow.
Oh yeah.
Can you imagine? Because I love the way sound effects work as well. Especially I loved the behind the scenes, especially like Disney VHSs, where afterwards, especially
yeah.
Jungle Book, I would watch the making of Jungle Book more than I actually watched Jungle Book.
Yeah,
thought that
I
was
used to love
fascinating.
watching behind the scenes stuff. I still do. That's why I got the Blu-ray set.
Yeah. And the sound effects are always so interesting. And just to think like
The Foley art.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love the Foley art. Just
Yeah.
figuring out which melon we're going to use to what sounds like stabbing a fucking person. Which melon? Like, huh?
Do you want to know how she dies in the book?
Yes.
Okay. This is how chapter 3 ends. All right, here we go. Mary, remember she's Mary. Mary giggled again, then executed an amateurish bump and grind, tossed her image a kiss and received one in return. After she stepped into the shower stall, the water was hot and she had to add a mixture from the cold faucet. Finally, she turned both faucets on full force and let the warmth gush over her. The roar was deafening and the room was beginning to steam up. That's why she didn't hear the door open or note the sound of footsteps. And at first, when the shower curtains...
Wait, because there's so much steam you can't hear?
And because the roaring of the water.
Oh, okay, sorry.
Anyway.
Sorry, go ahead.
At first, when the shower curtains parted, the steam obscured the face, which is like the movie. Then she did see it there, just a face, peering through the curtains, hanging in midair like a mask. A headscarf concealed the hair. They didn't use the headscarf. And the glassy eye stared inhumanly. They did have that. But it wasn't a mask. It couldn't be. The skin had been powdered dead white, and so the opposite of the movie, and 2 hectic spots of rouge.
Rouge, there you go.
Centered on the cheekbones. It wasn't a mask. It was the face of a crazy old woman. Ah! Mary started to scream, and then the curtains parted further, and a hand appeared holding a butcher's knife. It was the knife that, a moment later, cut off her scream. And her head. She gets decapitated
I
in the
did
book.
read that. As soon as you start reading this, I was like, wait a minute, I know. I can't.
Also, fucking
that is
Norman, like-
insane.
Cutting a head off with what kind of knife?
I want to know what kind of knife.
Yeah.
That's not easy to do.
That's really hard to do.
Just cut through bone with a knife? I mean, I've tried it so many times. I just can't slice
So anyway,
smoothly.
so she's dead.
Murder him.
I will say, when you don't know the twist, the movie does a good job of making you think Norman's innocent. Maybe for a modern audience, it'd be a little too easy because we've had so many similar films. But back then,
think so. I think if anyone wants to watch that now and has no idea what it is about, and I'm sure there's plenty of people that have actually never seen Psycho, if you hand it to like a kid or not a kid, but like a teenager, whatever, they probably wouldn't know still to this day. I really don't think so. I think they still holds up that they did a great job playing the other card.
He's really good in it though. When he comes
phenomenal.
back and he sees the blood and he's freaking out.
Well, they have the worst ADR though.
Blood.
Right after.
Blood.
Mother, oh God, mother, blood.
Well, no, I actually wrote exactly what it was.
Oh, mother, blood.
Yeah.
Blood.
It was the worst ADR.
Yeah. But I like the whole scene of him getting rid of the body. They like the writer and Alfred like really tried to figure out how to like film him covering up the body without showing the body. They had to like map it out and everything.
Oh, wait. I also want to say too, going back to the music in the shower scene, because I don't want to forget to say this. If you watch it, there's no music being played, and it was going to be that way until they pull back the curtain, and that's where the iconic Who would have thought, though, the most iconic sound where people that have never seen Psycho have no idea, but they know that sound.
They know that
Isn't
sound.
that insane?
We forgot to
they
mention-
almost didn't have that.
I forgot to mention the opening theme was just straight up stolen by Reanimator, and they never got in trouble for it. Reanimator's opening titles, it's just the Psycho opening titles. Like, they sound super similar. Play them back to back. But not for too long. God damn it. Not for too long. But play them back to back.
And then we freeze. Anyway.
So yeah, I like
that the music.
I
But
love that the $40,000 that was so important. Norman doesn't even know it exists. He like puts the newspaper, he throws it away, he tosses her in her car and throws her in the swamp. And it's just like he has no idea. It's
you just think
right
he's
there.
cleaning up his mother's mess.
Yeah.
And like that's when you actually hear him when he says like, "Oh, mother and the blood." Like you're like, "Oh shit, the mother killed her." Like,
yeah.
Okay, got that part. Good son helping his mom.
Mhm.
I love when he looks. The car is going into the swamp, and then it stops.
And he's like,
and then he kind of looks around, and
he's
then
like,
it goes
"Oh,
down.
shit."
And we're good. It's fine.
Because if a car went into the swamp, it's like, oh, crazy lady drove in the swamp. But it's like, oh, she wrapped herself up in a shower curtain and then drove herself into the swamp.
It just
in the
has
trunk.
like random stab wounds. It's cool.
So yeah, then the movie shifts focus to Marion's sister, Lila, who's visiting Sam and is like, where the hell's Marion? He's like, I don't know.
Yeah, no idea. He's writing a letter though too to her.
Yes.
Which was very like I actually paused on that to actually read the letter. It was actually pretty cool.
I
Just
do
saying,
like-
oh, we're gonna get married, we're gonna do all this, and
I do like the old lady in the store just talking about the chemicals killing rats.
Oh my
She's like,
God.
I think it should be painless. And you know, like
that
the
was
guy's like, whatever.
great.
But yeah, so they're talking about Marion, and then private investigator Arbogast also wants to talk about Marion. He's been hired to get back the missing $40K. He even says like they're not even going to press charges; they just want the money back. Because they probably felt bad because they're like, "Oh, she's stupid. How did she think she was going to get away with this? It's so obvious."
Yep.
So yeah, he decides to check out all the motels, and he makes it to the Bates Motel.
He does.
I thought Marion was pretty bad at being a thief. Norman is really bad at covering up his murder.
Oh yeah,
He is just buckling under the pressure.
And you would think someone that psychotic would be also a good liar. He's not. He's contradicting.
He's not. He's like,
himself.
hey, did a girl come over here? Can you look at the picture? Oh, no one's been here in weeks. It's like, okay. It's like, oh, but there's a name in here. It's an alias, but I'm pretty sure it's her. It's like, oh, I remember her. It's like, oh, okay, your story changed. Your story changed.
Yep, and it changes multiple times. What the fuck?
Arbogast is definitely catching on.
Oh, absolutely.
He's like, all right, there's something up here.
Yeah.
There's something. He probably doesn't think murder, but
He knows he's trying to. Oh, she paid him. What he's thinking is that she paid
Yeah.
him off to not say where she is.
yes. And he sees Mother in the house, right? Or
Yeah.
he sees like her silhouette, or does he hear her? I forget.
No, he definitely doesn't hear her.
No, he sees
Well,
her.
he couldn't hear her.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. I like that shot of when Norman's like looking at the guest book. It's like that awkward angle, and it's like an extreme close. I'm like, stop it.
Yeah.
Get away from his face. I don't like that.
I don't think he sees the shadow. I think it might be him saying,
Or he just
I
mentions
think he
his
wants
mother.
to like walk around or something like that and check
Yeah.
out the house. And he goes, no, just my mother's there. It's like, oh, I thought you lived by yourself. Well, she's basically
She's an invalid.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then he like fucking, he's like, oh, she's an invalid. She doesn't talk or anything. And then he goes, she might have fooled me, but she didn't fool my mother. And it's like,
Yes. Yeah. That's exactly what it
I'm
was.
like,
Yep.
you're terrible at lying. Get better at lying.
You're gonna murder people. Be a good liar. Duh.
Yeah.
Murder 101.
It's so obvious.
Get a great knife to cut off the neck,
Yes.
the head.
Watch the movie.
lie.
Watch the movie A Perfect Murder. I actually don't remember that movie, but I am sure it teaches you how to do the perfect murder.
I shall
Is Michael
watch.
Douglas in that one?
Ooh, I don't know. Really, you could just watch a whole bunch of like crime documentaries and you learn exactly how to do it. You're like, oh, no. That's where they messed up. Right
No, you're
there.
gonna get caught.
I haven't gotten caught yet.
No, the best way is they say like if you have no relation to the victim after 48 hours, like they're not gonna.
I know.
If it's just some random person and then you just disappear and you don't return, like you're probably.
And most murders do happen. Well, not most. A lot of murders happen from people you know, unfortunately.
Yeah, most crimes happen
Happen
between
with people.
people you know. Yeah,
Crime of passion.
like Uncle Leo from Seinfeld.
Sure.
We never learned what this crime of passion was. He has priors, Jerry. What did he do? It was a crime of passion. Leave it alone.
I hope everyone's enjoying his Seinfeld quotes.
So, Abergast fills in.
Abergast!
He fills in Lila, and he's like, yeah, I think something's going on there. And instead of just tipping off the cops, which is what he probably should have done, he's like, I'm going to go up there and I'm going to talk to that lady myself. They had to shoot the scene twice.
I know.
Apparently, Alfred didn't film the first time.
Because he was not there as the assistant director that did it.
Yes. I forget why he wasn't there. There was a reason.
Oh, he got sick.
Yes.
He was sick during that time.
So they filmed it, but they filmed it wrong. He's like, you filmed it as if a murderer was going up the stairs with like the close up on the handrail and stuff. And it's just like, you got to film it as if a victim's going up the stairs. So he had to reshoot all of it. And then they had to do him fall. So the mother comes out and slices his face. They have to film him going down the stairs. So they did the whole composite shot. It's where it's just him going, "Ah!" And then they shoot a plate shot, and then they film the camera going down the stairs. And he used that in Vertigo, the movie he did with the Statue of Liberty. When the guy falls off the Statue of Liberty. So they just reuse that method. And that always looked cool to me. I'm like, this looks weird and disorienting, and he's got his face stabbed, so I guess it would be, but it's just like the
They actually had to film it a couple times for other reasons. So when you see him, the person, come out of the room, it clearly looked like a man with broad shoulders, and they didn't want to give it away.
Right.
And they didn't know how to film it. So what they actually had to do was rig up some whatchamacallit. Oh my gosh, why am I forgetting the name? Just like some trolleys, basically.
Oh, okay.
Some pools and stuff like that. So they actually had to rig up some stuff so that way it was an above shot. It was not planning on being an above shot.
Oh, yeah. So
you can't, that way
masks it
you
a little
can't
bit better. Yeah.
see the person.
Yeah.
Or like, if not, you would have seen like it was straight up a dude. They were trying to, there were so many ways. This is one of the parts where they were trying to cover up that it's.
And if I was in the theater, I'd been like, that's not an old lady.
That's a man.
Yes. And then I go, do-do-do-do-do, do-do-do-do-do, do-do-do. Austin Powers. That's a man, baby.
Yep, I got you.
Because it was the 60s.
As soon as you started
technically.
doing that tune, I was like, wait a minute.
It was the 60s, technically. I'm like, that's a man, baby. Do-do-do. And everyone would be like,
that tune stuck in my head now for the rest of the
I'm going to go back in time and do Austin Power quotes before they're a thing. People feel like, wow, that's really annoying. I hope no one ever says that in the 90s over and over and
Yeah,
over.
baby. Oh, God.
Just pictured Austin Powers like, that's a man, baby. So,
Back the Austin Power quotes.
so Arbogast is dead.
Good. Yep.
Sam and
dead,
Lila,
dead.
they get worried when they can't find him, and they go to the deputy sheriff for help. They had to trim a scene of them out because they wanted it to be shorter. And there's a scene where they're talking about, like, where they're talking to each other, and they realize, like, it's like dawning on them finally, like, oh, we both just lost someone important to us. And they like discuss it. And apparently Alfred Hitchcock's like, I think the audience will figure it out. Like, it's pretty obvious.
Well, in the book, there's supposed to be like this big romance happening between them.
Yeah.
And like intense conversations happening between them. And Alfred Hitchcock didn't want the movie to be anything about their relationship. He wanted to focus on Norman Bates being a killer. He did not want to focus on basically those two characters having any type of relationship.
No, it makes sense. I mean, it's not the right
If you're gonna cut
time
something-
to start a relationship, really.
Listen, both you're heartbreaking, you need a rebound.
But it's like he doesn't know if his girlfriend is even alive or dead. Like, you want to figure it out first.
It's a stress relief, okay?
I would want to figure out first.
They're both hot and they're sexy. Listen,
Look.
gotta release a little stress.
After they get confirmation that they're dead, sure. But if the jury's still out on whether they're dead or not, I'd want to find out first. Because in the situation, the girl's still alive. It's going to be real awkward. So we want to find
tell her.
Anyway, family show. Family values. So yeah, they I think they go to the they go to the sheriff, and he's like, hey, look, I think your private eye maybe found the 40,000 and then took off.
Yep.
Sounds weird. But yeah, that's his theory. And the sheriff was just like, look, I know Norman. And they're like, yeah, our guest said they were going to talk to his mother. And he's like, Norman's mother's been dead for 10 years. And I like that. He says that she killed herself. And her boyfriend, when she found out the boyfriend was actually married.
Yes. She went crazy, really upset. She was distraught and killed herself with the same thing she killed him.
Also, I guess I got to watch Psycho 4 again. This boyfriend, so, like, he's convincing some lady to start a motel while he still has like a wife and stuff. Like,
yeah, this is quite a double life. Like,
This
that
is
seems,
like-
that seems exhausting.
I like that the house is far away. He can get away with it. But then he's like starting a motel. Like, what are you doing? Like, don't get into business with your side piece, buddy. Like, what the fuck is wrong with you?
Hey, at least you can get a little side and get business done.
So, I like when they're like, if there's a woman there who's buried
that's what I wrote down.
in the cemetery.
If that's Mrs. Bates, then who's buried in the cemetery? Who's that woman buried in the cemetery? Don't know.
I think in the book, the sheriff might have been like, I was one of the pallbearers. I'm pretty sure she's dead.
Well, the wife is there saying like, oh, I helped pick out the dress.
Yeah. So Norman and Mother argue, and again, it's that above shot. And he's putting her in the cellar. Like, putting me in the fruit cellar. You think I'm fruity?
Yes. She does not want to. She is just carrying her.
You know, they actually did auditions for the mother.
Really?
Fake casting auditions to make you think there was a real mother.
Holy
so like,
fuck, they really went all out.
if people like reported on it, they wanted like everyone to know that like, we hired an actress just to like really confuse people.
I like that a lot.
Yeah, so he puts her in the cellar. This apparently tricks the sheriff because after church the one day, he's like, I was there this morning and didn't see shit. What do you want me to do?
Yep.
Apparently he did not check the fruit cellar.
Why would you not check the fruit cellar?
I
That's the
don't
first
know.
place I would check. Be like, yo, you got a fruit cellar? Let me check.
I don't know, but Sam and Lila, they decide to take the law into their own
Doesn't that
hands.
shit happen though all the time? It happened in the other movie. What was the other movie? See, like we do so many of these. I can't
We do
remember
so
which
many
one.
movies.
House on Haunted Hill. House on Haunted Hill, where there's like a cellar, and that's where all like the murders happen. Like,
Oh yeah.
that's like a murder. Everything happened. Like you always check the cellar.
Well, they knew about the murders in the cellar. It wasn't like a mystery.
Well, that's like murders happen. There.
Anyway,
You always check the cellar.
no murder happened in the cellar. This is where he's hiding the body.
Yeah, but you always check the cellar.
Okay, we'll check the cellar. God damn it.
Specifically the fruit cellar. Sorry.
So Sam and Lila, they pretend to be a couple and they check into the hotel so they can snoop around some more.
Idiots.
Yeah,
Idiots.
they find
I think
evidence.
this guy probably, like, is something up. Let's go there ourselves.
Yeah. They find evidence she was there because Norman doesn't lock the goddamn cabins. So they go into the room and they find the little bit of
piece
paper.
that wasn't flushed down the toilet.
Yes. They're like, they were doing math. She was here. Women do math, I guess.
Who would have thunk?
So she's gonna sneak in. She gets Sam to like distract Norman, and he does a terrible job.
Horrible job.
He's like awful at it. He's like a little too angry and stuff. Like, no, just like chit chat, man. What are you doing?
Find out what you guys have in common.
Yeah.
Talk about sports.
Yeah.
Sports ball.
Exactly.
Talk about sports ball.
I was always creeped out by the impression in Mrs. Bates's bed.
Yes.
Because it's just like,
It's
she's constantly there, and it's I'm like, oh,
you can like that's like a straight up like a pool.
yeah,
Like, ugh.
I don't like it. I
Like
don't
as
like
soon
it.
as, yeah, when she's snooping around the house,
Mm.
you just get such eerie vibes just looking at everything.
She like goes into his room, and it still looks kind of like a kid's room.
Yeah.
She opens up like a journal, and
So that's similar to Ed Gein, where Ed Gein, once his mother passed, he did not touch most of the house. He only kept like one area open. He wanted to preserve everything his mother's done. And I think it's the same way for this, of where he wants to make sure everything is preserved exactly the way she left it. So that way she's still there. Yes.
can't relate. So yeah, he grills Norman a little bit too much. Norman, I think, like knocks him out and then runs into the house.
Because he noticed, like, oh wait, where's the girl that you were with?
Yeah. And then Marion finds Mrs. Bates.
In the fruit cellar.
In the fruit cellar. Does her chair have wheels on it? How did it turn?
It might have had wheels on it.
I don't know, but it's horrifying. And she's horrifying.
Can you imagine going into dressing rooms and finding that? That's amazing.
So yeah, Mrs. Bates is dead. And then
Gasp!
and then Norman walks in like, I like that
And
he
that is a great entrance.
I like that
He's just
he's like, oh no, they're gonna find my mom. Then he's like, wait, I gotta take time to put on my dress.
Yeah.
Put on the wig, and then
You just see him looking in the mirror, being super okay.
And we forgot to mention, so with the Arbogast in this scene, so they had the shower scene, and they needed music for the other two scenes, and Alfred was like, let's just use the shower theme again.
Is that what that was? I don't think I realized that.
He's like,
Yeah,
it's so
I didn't
good, let's
realize it
just
was the
use
same.
it again. Yeah, so Norman goes to attack her, but Sam ends up like
Knocking him
tackling
out.
him.
Yeah.
And,
Or he tackles him and
Yeah.
he's like holding him and he's just gone. Like you can see it in his face. Like he's
yeah.
gone.
And it's
which is
got the
great.
mother's voice. It's like, Norman! And then like, I like how the dress like comes
It's coming
off and the wig comes off.
Yeah. It's so freaky when you see that though. Like if you really don't know what's going to happen, that is
Yeah.
petrifying.
Yeah, it's a big shock. It's a big shock.
It really is.
You know, it reminds me of this character in Mummy Cop season 2 called Norm, a man who is disguised as Miss Bates. But it's a completely different character.
Oh.
It's not
So
Norman
original.
Bates. It's
It sounds
Norm.
So original.
Norm, a
You
man
sound so
disguised.
creative.
That was the official character's name. Norm, a man disguised as a woman called Miss Bates.
That just is the most creative thing I've ever heard.
Yeah.
Wow. Genius.
Completely original. He was like an
Absolutely.
assassin. He was making the kids run a meth lab.
Guys, restart this video and take a shot for every time he mentions Mummy Cop.
Mummy Cop, spoiler, Mummy Cop actually.
That's 2 shots right there.
Mummy Cop.
2 shots right there. 3.
The
You're
hero of
done.
the show.
You're fucking hammered. You're dead.
Mummy Cop heroically saves the children in the meth lab.
Right.
He walks in
Go on.
and he just starts shooting.
Who was it? Mummy Cop?
Yes.
Oh, Mummy Cop. Got it.
He starts shooting Norm, a man disguised as Miss Bates,
Gotcha.
but he like doesn't wait for the kids to leave. He just walks in because Mummy Cop is a horrible guy. I had so much fun, right? I'm like, Mummy Cop
you
just
did.
walks in and starts shooting. He has no regard for the children's safety.
I am so happy you are just. You
So-
are this great writer, and
Thank you.
yeah,
Thank you.
I will never watch Mummy Cop.
Wow.
Whoa!
You've watched way worse shit, all right?
I know that you made me watch. Yes, I know.
So, because this is 1960, people were probably like, what? So they have a whole scene of a psychiatrist coming in, and it was going to be a woman
Really?
because the writer was researching like psychological stuff, and I think his therapist was a woman.
Huh.
And then Alfred said no, and I agree. So the therapist comes in. He's just like, all right, let me explain
scene.
everything you just saw.
I really like this scene.
Norman thinks he's his mother, and the guy's like, is he a transvestite? Which the studio wanted to cut out that word. They didn't even know what it meant. They just thought it was dirty. And he's like, no, because he doesn't want to dress up like a woman. Specifically, he wants to be his mother.
Yep.
Because, you know, he was insanely jealous of her and her boyfriend's relationship, so he killed both of them.
Yep.
And
they're saying this isn't Norman also confessing. This is the mother confessing.
But he missed his mom so much that he, like, you know, stole her body, but it wasn't enough. And by the way, the stuffed animals was like to foreshadow how he preserved the body. But it wasn't enough, so he started dressing like her, pretending to be her, have conversations. Sometimes he would even just, like, let her take over.
And now she's completely...
Yeah. But the thing was, because he was so jealous, his version of his mother became jealous.
Yes.
So whenever he had any slight attraction to a woman, the mother's side, which was actually him, would get jealous and then want to kill the woman.
Mm-hmm.
And now he's, like, fully Mrs. Bates.
Yeah.
Like, just fully.
So he has killed, and then you also find out there was 2 other girls that went missing as well. So he has killed a total of 4 people.
Yes.
You would think he would have gotten better though.
Yeah.
After the
Well,
first
they don't know if they ever confirm it.
They don't fully confirm it, but
No.
they said
What they
any
say-
other 2.
Yeah. So there's Marion, Arbogast, the parent, the mom, and the boyfriend. But he says, "Do you have any other missing people?" And they're like, "We have some missing people reports." It's like,
wait,
you might want to
he's killed
drag.
more than that. Yeah, if you're telling the mom.
If it's
and
true, once they drag the swamp, they might find more bodies, but you never.
So
find
if it's the 2 girls that, if you're I assumed it was the 2 girls that went missing he killed.
No, they never confirm it.
They said that no, they don't confirm it, but I'm assuming that it was him. He killed the 2 and then the mom and the boyfriend. So it's 6 people total.
I guess.
He's killed 2.
Maybe
6
Psycho 2 explains it more.
Huh.
Anyway.
So he's killed, yeah. Decent amount. You would think he'd be better at killing.
So I like the whole inner monologue with the mother.
What he did with the guys. I guess he just went off and they just did normal shit with that, being like, oh, he's dead.
I don't know.
The boyfriend, yeah.
But I like the mother at the end. Like, oh, poor Norman. He blamed it on me. I didn't do anything. Like, what is he talking about?
They're never gonna say that an old lady like me murdered anyone.
I'm not even gonna hurt that fly. She wouldn't even harm a fly.
Why, she wouldn't even harm a fly.
And the fly's just sitting
I like the
was
dissolve
so-
into the skeleton for a second, and then it dissolves into the car being pulled out. That's such a good way to end the movie.
that, like, and it just shows to, like, you would think the sister and her and that boyfriend would actually feel a little bit more upset when it's like, no, your sister's dead. Like, there was no sympathy or anything. Like, is she dead? Yeah, she's dead. Yeah, she's dead. She's gone. And you just see them, like, making out then and, like, having sex right there on the floor. Like,
That cowboy gets his 40
High
grand back, and he's like,
well, that was the whole thing. I'm just like, wow, they really made sure that they dug up that car so they can get the $40,000. Like, everyone was so concerned. They even said it like, oh, yeah, sorry, she's dead. And, you know, all this tragic thing happened. But what about the $40K? Where is that? Oh, he did, but Norman didn't even know about it.
yeah, it's
No
like,
one
I
knew
don't even
about
think
it,
he
and no
knew
one
about it.
cared.
It was a crime of passion, not for money or
But
greed.
you make sure that last shot is, nope, we still care more about that.
You think they told him
40,000.
about it? Like, so
I
did you
don't
find the
think
$40,000 in Norman?
No,
to, like,
they say it throughout the movie.
Yeah.
They say it, especially when
that's
the
right.
boyfriend mentions it. You knew about the
I'm shocked there wasn't a scene of Norman Bates, like, scuba diving in the swamp being like, I gotta get the 40 grand.
He didn't care about money. He just did. I mean,
Yeah, so.
they clearly had money. Like, look at that house and that motel was popping. Like, he's making money off that motel.
So, yeah, that was Psycho.
I truly, truly love it.
Yeah.
I do. I think it's brilliant. I think all the shots are brilliant. I think they are done so specific and with such care.
Mm-hmm.
It has such a great story. There's a great amount of action, but there's also a great amount of talking and storyline. You actually care.
Would it be
was
better with
phenomenal.
Vince Vaughn?
No. No, not at all. No, I saw there's actually a YouTube where they actually do like back to back, and I was watching that. No.
Someone on Steven Soderbergh's website or someone like cut them together.
Yeah, that's what I think. That's maybe what I watched.
Oh, not back to back. Like they would like cut. They made it
sliced
all
with
black
it.
and white and
Oh.
sliced scenes together. Yeah, I don't know why.
No,
But yeah, Psycho. It's a classic. We love it.
I love it. I
The
also
shower scene will never be topped.
No,
Sorry, Crystal, you'll never top the shower scene. I couldn't top
I
the
have
shower
goals
scene.
in life now. I now have goals in life.
Even though I became an award-winning film director, an award that I've never physically seen, doing that shower scene, it will never top Psycho.
It won't. I'm very
Yes.
upset with that.
Yes.
But I do absolutely love this movie. I do
And
love it. The fact that it does. I was saying about like just about killers and serial killers, and this was the first one to actually use Ed Gein. Yeah, I'm gonna keep talking about fucking Ed Gein. And
Gein talk.
I love
Gabbing about Gein.
So I love Gein. I'm a huge fan.
You loved Gein?
I love Gein.
The
There are
murderer?
actual people that have said that. There are people that say, "Oh, he wasn't bad. He was just misunderstood."
He murdered 2 people.
He did, but so many people are like, he was just like upset. Like, there are so many people that actually defend him. Someone said that he's a living legend. He's been dead since I think the 80s.
He's been dead for a while. Yeah.
But yeah, I was saying I love Dan Cummings' Time Suck podcast.
Okay.
And it goes all into a lot of cults. Part cult curious. If anyone watches it, Hallucifina. It's part of the show.
Yes.
It's fantastic.
But Ed Gein
Ed
was
Gein,
also
they
the
talk about it.
Yeah.
And it's absolutely, he grew up in Plainsfield, Wisconsin. The author of that actually lived 40 miles away from Ed Gein.
That's probably where he got the idea.
That's exactly where he got the idea, because it was such a small town. It was such a crazy uproar of what happened. And it wasn't just because he killed 2 people. It was how he killed them.
How'd he do it?
Oh. So he was so obsessed with his mother.
Yes.
And his mother was so obsessed with him. Super, super religious. When his mother would yell at him, he would actually cry because he felt like he disappointed his mother and he should be a better kid for disappointing her. She basically said how like all females are bad and how he shouldn't really be having sex. Like he masturbated maybe a couple times. He died a virgin. Like he felt bad if he felt attracted to someone. When his mother died after having the stroke because she saw 2 fucking people, fucking out of wedlock, he just lost. He fucking lost it. So he started he's never seen like a vagina before, nothing. He's never seen a woman naked. So all of a sudden,
Never seen a vagina
he's
before.
never seen a vagina. He started going really, really into true crime, reading the magazines. He actually, from that, he eventually found some porn and saw like what a female body looked like.
Did he find it in the woods?
Did he find what the
Porn in the
He
woods?
did not find porn in the woods. I did hear about that story.
The story from me?
Wait,
No, I'm just saying that. Who did you hear that from? Because it happened to every young boy.
I've heard so many people tell me stories of how they found porn in the woods.
There's always porn in the woods.
I didn't know that was that common.
Yeah, very common.
I was like, maybe Tony, maybe you were the one that told me that story.
Not
Or
anymore.
Maybe I just have like
I just told it in an episode, but it didn't come out. Well, it's come out now, but you haven't seen it.
I haven't seen it.
So you probably just heard some other guy who found porn in the woods. There's a lot of them. Anyway,
Guys, tell me
continue.
about how you find porn in the woods.
Anyway.
So, and you still do. What's the internet? So he became so obsessed with these true crimes and started talking about death and killing people. But everyone thought he was already kind of a weird dude, so they never took it serious. He found this girl, Mary, who worked at this bar, this tavern, and she reminded him of his mother so much, except that she was super sinful. She might have had connections with the mob. She had a huge potty mouth. Who the f*** has potty mouth? It's so f***ing like sinful. So she goes.
Censor all of that.
So she goes missing. There's another woman who also reminds him of his mother at a hardware store. He ends up. Well, she goes missing as well. No one really cared about the lady at the tavern as much as they did
Well, she had
about-
that potty mouth. They're
I
probably
know,
like,
what the
thank God she's gone.
Well, this woman, she was divorced. She also had a whole bunch of sin. But this town seemed to be more upset about her going missing. And then all of a sudden they're like, yo, we got to check out like this Ed Gein. Like he's kind of fucked up. People were hearing rumors. They go into this house I think it was Mary who was found upside down, or it was the other one. I think her name was Bernice. One of them was hung upside down, completely skinned, head cut off, like a deer. They found top of a skull, basically used as a bowl.
Yeah.
There was furniture.
I heard
lots
he had
of
furniture, yeah.
chairs, lamps, all made of human skin.
Yeah.
They later found a belt made of women nipples. A belt made.
A nipple belt.
It was a nipple belt. All of women nipples. They found a shoebox of noses, women's noses. And they also found a shoebox of female genitalia.
No feet stuff.
No feet stuff. Odd, right?
Wow.
Yeah.
If you would have told me, I was like, oh, he's definitely a foot guy. No feet stuff.
No.
Huh.
But he would strap on some of the female genitalia and wear human skin. He had human leggings, skin leggings, and a vest, and they actually had like the boob still attached.
Oh.
And he would actually go out at night in this literal skin suit. It's because he was so obsessed and wanted to be his mother so badly. He would wear women's skin to try and basically become his mother. And we know that he's killed the two people. And he also wore the masks. That's where the leather face comes from. This is where a lot of like Hannibal Lecter, Buffalo Bill comes from.
So like, was his mom hot? Like what's...
No, apparently she was not that attractive. But he would actually make human masks constantly. And a lot of them all hung on his bedroom wall.
He didn't have a lot of visitors, I guess, right?
I don't think so. But I mean, like, that's pretty calming. Like, you go to bed and you just see all these, like, human women faces around you. But yeah, he would just school around and just wanting to be his mother. And, like, that's how, like, can you imagine going to a place? And he said the blood actually made him disgusted.
I don't like blood.
He actually said he doesn't like blood. And the smell, like, was repulsive?
Repulsive?
I don't, something like that. That word.
Perfusive sounds like a word, but I don't think it is.
Anyway.
Anyway.
You know what I'm talking about. But yeah, he couldn't. But can you imagine putting on all that, including putting, just, can you imagine pulling up a box and you're just like, oh, look, it's a whole bunch of vulvas.
Ugh. Don't say vulvas. Ew. So, is there any more you wanted to say about Ed Gein?
I mean, there's so much about him, and I find it absolutely phenomenal. Like, a lot of serial killers have so many mommy issues. Like, you also have Ed Kemper. Ed Kemper was a serial killer. And
Serial killer?
Serial killer. What? This is long. I've been talking for so long,
Someone's
guys.
like, Siri, where's the nearest Wendy's? And he's like, did you just say Siri?
Goddamn, the serial killer. The serial killer.
Yeah, anyway, he's a serial killer.
So Ed Kemper had such mommy issues. She was so overbearing that she cut off her head and fucked her skull.
And on that note,
yo, I love serial, like, yo.
And on that note, luckily we put it at the end of the video. Hopefully we don't get demonetized for that.
Sorry, guys.
Thank you for watching. Sorry we ended on skull fucking. I'm really sorry. Really, really, really sorry it ended on skull fucking.
This is my last episode, guys.
Check out the book. Check out the book.
Fucked up shit.
This one's only...
I really want to read that.
223 pages.
Oh, that's not bad.
Why she wouldn't even harm a fly. ...
Nice.
Yeah, check it out. I'm actually going to reread it. I'm in the middle of Dune right now.
I have 4 of the books, and I have not started reading them yet.
I just started reading the first one. And it's good because I haven't seen the new movie. I've not seen the Lynch one since like the early 2000s. And
I don't remember.
I remember not liking it. I think I'll like it more now, but even David Lynch doesn't like it. And I didn't watch... I remember watching some of the 3-part miniseries Sci-Fi Channel did in the 90s.
Okay.
But I don't remember a lot of it in detail. So I'm enjoying it as just like a book.
Is it a good read? Is it a fast read? Slow read?
Not a fast... Well...
Is there a lot of details in it?
If you're like me, where you switch between audiobook and physical copy, yeah.
Oh, I can't do that. I cannot.
You can't?
No, I cannot switch because I create the characters. Usually the characters,
you know
and
what's
the way
rough?
I hear it is usually more fucked up in my head than an audiobook.
You know what's
will ever
rough?
make it happen.
The book I have, it's not broken up into chapters. So the chapters are broken up by this princess talking.
Okay.
But in the book, it's not like numbered. You just got to look for the bold font, but the audiobook it's a whole thing. Anyway, more on Dune and the future.
I have the books. I've been dying to read
Yeah,
them.
I think I want to do like kind of like we did with Texas Chainsaw, maybe like best Dune movie and just talk
Ooh.
about them. Anyway, that is it from us. Patreon.com/hackthemovies, merch store. Go to hackthemovies.com. Download us on our podcast feed. We just tried out a new form of videos for Saturday. These little film or video essays.
I was just waving FYI because I was thinking you were going to say goodbye. I'm like,
Sorry.
you're still talking.
Sorry. You were talking about like fucking people's vaginas that are severed.
No, I'm not saying
I'm talking about stuff that matters here.
No, you wore them. Jeffrey Dahmer's the one that fucked his mother's head.
We're testing
Get
out
them right.
I'm testing out doing a little short film video essays on Saturdays. Did you see the one I did on Archive 81?
No, I actually been wanting to watch that too. I was talking about that last night.
Yes, I did a video on the cameras used in Archive 81 because the girl's main camera reminded me of one that I grew up with, and I thought there was an inconsistency, and then I went down a rabbit hole, and I'm like, let me make a video out of this.
Did you say hello to the rabbits while you're down the rabbit hole?
Yes, I did.
Okay.
They were like, we don't care about cameras. Get out of our hole. And then I ate them. Yeah, so check those out. They should be coming out on Saturdays, probably with like newer stuff.
So what is it? Is it just you talking?
This is me talking.
Can't wait. Can't fucking wait.
They're short too. So check those out and follow us everywhere. And are you twitching again?
I'm gonna try. Yeah.
On Twitch, right?
Twitching. Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, I'm always twitching.
I guess follow her Twitch and
Thanks. I'm streaming
and that's it.
when I feel. Yeah, I don't know. Just go
I'm
find
very-
my.
I'm very
social
hungry.
medias.
Do you want to get food before we do the next episode?
I would love to eat.
Oh my God, let's eat. I'm starving. All right, goodbye.
Bye, guys.
I have so many things I want to talk about. I'm like gonna get off track here.
This is the case of a game that was far more popular in Japan than it was in the United States.
They never went to Mordor. What are you talking about?
This is kind of weird.
But there's real detail. There's like wiring underneath.
You know, they're one and done. That's
Yeah,
it. Sold
yeah.
out. So they're super hard to come by.
You heard him, guys. Bring it back. Here we go again. Round two.
Remember to like, comment, and subscribe. Check out our other videos and Patreon page.
Talking about tapes.